If you've been podcasting with your smartphone or you're thinking about starting a podcast with your phone, this video is for you. I was in the process of recreating our most popular video, how to start a podcast with a smartphone. My script was ready and I was about to press record on the camera, and then this happened. The classic Anchor Spotify smartphone podcasting experience is being canceled starting this year. That means no more recording and editing on your phone or web, and no more Music Plus Talk. This news came as a shock to smartphone podcast creators, and some are very upset that Spotify is taking away these features. And if this is affecting you, I'd like to know how you feel and your thoughts about this change. Let me know in the comments. And even though this is a bummer for some of you, I'm here to tell you that this isn't the end of you as a podcast creator or a future podcast creator. In this video, I will share everything you need to know about what's going on with Spotify for podcasters. We're going to cover what will happen to existing podcasts, how to record and edit your content moving forward. And at the end of the video, I'm going to share something you may not want to hear, but you need to. Hey there, welcome to the Pod Sound School. Our channel is full of resources for podcast creators like you, so take a moment to subscribe. If you are a business owner wanting to launch a podcast for your business, I have a free mini course for you called Idea to Podcast Simplified to help you get started. So after watching this video, you can go to podcastingsmart.com to enroll for free. I'll also leave the link below. What will happen to existing podcasts on Spotify? The fact that Spotify is taking away the recording and editing features doesn't mean that shows hosted on the platform will disappear. Spotify has said that creators can still upload audio and video podcasts to Spotify for podcasters for distribution, management, and monetization, and all existing published episodes will remain published and unchanged. This means that Spotify for podcasters will remain a podcast host for audio and video podcasts. You can still use it to store and distribute your podcast and have access to monetization features for free. Spotify for podcasters is the only free podcast hosting platform up until now. We don't know if this will change or if it will remain a platform where creators can upload and distribute content for free like YouTube. Which, by the way, YouTube is also adding new features specifically for podcast creators and podcast listeners on the platform. So this is a very exciting time if you're considering starting a podcast. There are new technologies, platforms releasing new features, and opportunities for podcast creators, making podcasting fun, accessible, and more powerful than ever at reaching new audiences. And these new announcements are likely to raise the bar for the whole podcasting industry. We can all agree that free smartphone podcasting has inundated podcast players with crappy podcasts with very low production and content value. A lot of people jumped into creating recordings of streams of consciousness that didn't contain any value that was helpful or entertaining for anyone. On the other hand, this was the entry point into podcasting for many people because it required low cost and low risk investment. There were many who took their podcast seriously, learned how to make content, and connected with an audience. Spotify CEO Daniel Ek told investors that the company was not afraid of sunsetting things to refocus on value. He stated that killing things that sometimes sort of work is a healthy thing to refocus and re-energize people on the things that really drive lots of value. After all, Spotify is a for-profit business, not a non-profit. And if something is not making money, it is only logical that they will try to change it or eliminate it. Even though Spotify getting rid of these features might be a bummer, you won't lose the episodes you already created, you won't lose your audience, and most importantly, you won't lose the experience you've gained as a podcast creator. So now let's talk about how to record and edit your content moving forward. If you've been using Spotify for podcasters exclusively as a podcast host, things won't change for you. You can keep uploading your podcast or video podcast to Spotify for podcasters. And if you're new to this and have no idea how to upload video or audio to Spotify for podcasters, I created this playlist with videos showing you everything you need to know about podcasting with Spotify. But if you've been using Spotify for podcasters to record and edit your podcast, either the app on your phone or on the website, this is coming to an end soon. But Spotify is not leaving podcast creators high and dry. On Spotify for podcasters, now you can click on the Upload Episode tab and you will find an option that says Create with Riverside. Spotify is now integrated with Riverside FM. Riverside is a web-based podcast and video recording and editing solution. When you click on the Create with Riverside button, a window pops up that says you are being redirected to Riverside FM. You can now record your podcast on Riverside, and then when you're done, your podcast will be uploaded to Spotify for podcasters. You can get started with Riverside for free and upgrade to get access to more features. And with the free plan, you can do way more than you could with the traditional Anchor app. Now let's click on Let's Go and see what happens. First, I'm taken to this page where I can set up an account with Riverside for free. Let's see what we can do with the free plan. Then I'm brought to this page where I have two options: record episode or edit episode. So let's record an episode. So under record episode, you can choose record video and audio. Or if you're not ready for video yet, you can choose record audio only. I'm going to connect my camera and my microphone. By the way, if you want to know what camera and microphone I'm using, I left the links in the description. And I'm taken to a brand new studio in Riverside. Fancy. I can now simply copy the link to the studio and send it to my guest to join.
Oh, hey, Veronica.
I can also use Riverside to record a solo podcast episode. When I'm done recording, I can go back to the dashboard and choose Edit Podcast. Here, I can edit my episode like a Word document with the transcript that Riverside automatically created for me. I can play with the layout and branding and add captions. When I'm happy with how my episode looks, I will choose Export and then click on Export Video to Spotify. And check out how cool this is. This is going to blow your mind. A few moments later, I'm taken back to Spotify for podcasters, where I can now add a title and description for my episode. I can preview my episode so it looks just how I want it. I can set up an interactive question for my audience, explore my monetization options, and when I'm ready, I can publish my episode. Or I can schedule the episode for a later time. Now wait, don't leave just yet. This is important. Change is inevitable. And you can bitch and moan about it, or you can adapt and grow with the industry. Video podcasting is what audiences and creators are all about these days. And now you have the opportunity to jump into it. With a video podcast, you can reach larger audiences and connect with your audience even more. With only a few clicks, you saw how easy it was to start connecting with guests or your co-host from anywhere in the world and record your podcast. And we didn't even touch the surface of all of the cool features inside Riverside. You can create vertical videos for social media, generate your show notes with one click, and add captions and text to make your episodes more entertaining, and they will continue to add more features. Yes, you won't be able to record and edit your podcast with your smartphone, so this may be a good time to upgrade to a computer, a podcast microphone, and a nice camera. Now that you've tried podcasting, you've gotten your feet wet and built confidence in recording your voice, let's keep podcasting with purpose and intention and supercharge our efforts with topics that matter, raising the quality of our shows and taking ourselves seriously as creators. And don't be afraid to embrace change, try new things, and invest in yourself. So no more bitching and moaning, we have work to do. And I'm here to help you with that transition. I added free resources, links to other videos, and gear recommendations to help you transition from podcasting on your phone to podcasting like a pro. Also, don't forget to sign up for Idea to Podcast Simplified for business owners. I will be your guide to launch a profitable podcast for your business. So pause this video and go to the description. Don't miss out on the free resources I left for you there.